So welcome back to Dimajo. Welcome back to Kojo. Welcome back to Coach to Coach. So if you want to know a little bit more about me and why I started on this journey, you might want to go back and look at the last video. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the coaching business and how I actually got into the coaching business and what my approach was to get into the coaching business. Because like I said in the last video, I had a lot of experience. I had a lot of corporate experience. I knew that I knew how to help people to grow, which is something that I loved, but I didn't really know how to package my experience and how to structure it in such a way that I could create a business out of it. I didn't know how to do that. I knew it was possible because I saw other people do it, but I didn't know how I could do it. And so I needed help to figure that out. So one of the things that people do, which I think is a huge mistake, they just throw themselves out there in the industry and they say, well, I'm going to be a coach. And they just say, okay, I want to be a coach now. Well, it kind of reminds me of, one of the first things that I did when I left the corporate world is I went to New York and I studied acting. And I studied acting for a couple years, and I learned a lot about the business of acting as well. And I actually started working as an actor. I went to New York for 3 months after I had studied for a long time, and I got 2 agents right off the bat. I was submitted for more than 200 auditions. I actually auditioned 38 times, and I got 10 acting jobs, and I made like $4,500. And all in those first 10 weeks, because I stopped auditioning after the 10 weeks because I knew that I had to leave, 2 weeks after that to get up to 12 weeks was 3 months. And so I said, there's no sense in auditioning anymore. But anyway, so I made that happen in a relatively short period of time. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who have no idea how to do that. And I just used my business experience and knowledge that helped me to be able to do that, to get those results that quickly. Anyway, so one of the things that I saw in the acting industry is the same thing that I was just talking to you about before. There's so many actors out there that aren't working because they don't know how to get seen. They don't know how to do what I did, to get those agents that quickly. They don't know how to get casting directors to call them in. They don't know how to do that. And so they're out there wallowing around trying to figure out what to do when they really have no clue on what to do. And so a lot of those people, especially younger actors or younger aspiring actors, they will just say things to you like, because one of the things that I did, and I'm going to talk about this in the next video, is about how I created a website for new and aspiring actors based on my experience. And I ended up getting like more than 70,000 visitors a month. And I was making money off the Google ads and making like $1,500 a month. It was just coming in. Anyway, one of the things that I discovered was that there's so many young aspiring actors out there who think that just because, and this is what they've told me, they say, well, I just give me a chance. Because they misunderstood, maybe it was because of my communication. They thought that I was an agent or I was a casting director, which I wasn't. I was just helping them to have the information they need to be successful. Anyway, or to get better results than they were getting, which was close to zero. Anyway, a lot of them would just say, I just need a chance. If you could introduce me to an agent, I just need a chance because I know I can do this because people are telling me I have the right look. Or they tell me that I have good, possibilities to be an actor because they can just see it in me, and I just believe I can do this. All I need is a chance, and it's like, it just doesn't work that way. And it's the same thing that I would tell you if you want to be a coach. If you're starting on this journey and you know that you have knowledge and experience that you want to get out to the world, it's not going to happen probably just by you saying, I want to be a coach. You got to learn how to do it, just like anything else. So you're not just going to put up a website and put some information on there that people are going to come to, because it's not going to happen. There's a lot of things that you need to know about how to get people, get the right people to come in first of all, and then how to pitch what you're going to pitch, how to put together the offers, when's the right time to do that, how much to charge, how to attract people to your offers. I mean, there's so much to learn, and so I knew I wasn't thinking so much digitally back then, because we're talking about 18 years ago. I was just thinking about breaking into the coaching business. So I was thinking about doing coaching one-to-one and going into companies and doing speeches and doing ongoing training in companies. and doing seminars and stuff like that. Well, I was asking myself, well, how are you going to do this? Well, I read a book when I was doing the acting, and it was a book called The Artist's Way by a woman named Julia Cameron. And Julia, in her book, I remember that there was a saying that says, when you really want something with all of your heart, the universe will conspire to help you. And so I believe that's what happened to me. It's kind of like the law of attraction, And I was at a trade show for human resources, and I ran into this booth, and there was this guy who, all his communication really, kind of stopped me in my tracks. And this was this Roberto Rey that I talked to you about, and he studied Tony Robbins stuff, and actually brought that here to Italy, and at that time, that precise moment, they were looking for trainers. They were looking for people to coach, to train to be coaches. And I was like, wow, this is perfect. And so I thought to myself, I said, why not go and work with him? Because he's someone who's obviously already established in the industry. I could work there for a while to get to know the industry and to see how things work. Maybe learn how to package my knowledge and experience, because if he's going to teach me how to be a coach, he's probably going to teach me how to do that. And then after that, I can branch off and start my own business after I've learned the industry a little bit. So that's exactly what I did. So I went and signed up for that program. It cost me 10,000 euros. And that was a lot more money back then than it is today. And I went through his course. Him and his team taught me how to teach 3 different courses. One was about sales, one was about communication, and one was about time management. And they were his courses. He gave me all the slides that they used and the manuals that they use. And they taught me how to teach it. They took me through simulations, and they put me up in front of some of their customers to teach those courses so that I could get on-the-job training and everything. And then they said, they even told us this at the very beginning, the people in my class. They said, if we like you, we will find you customers. And so you can work for us for a while. And that's what I really wanted. I didn't just want to take the course. I wanted to actually learn the business. And so I was the only one in the class that they actually chose to continue to work with. And I worked with them for a couple years. And I remember they paid me 400 euros a day to start. That's how much they paid me. And I had to pay taxes off of that too. So that really wasn't a whole lot. And then I asked them for a raise, because after about 9 months, I was like, yo, how about a little extra cash? So then they gave me 500. And then they bumped me up to 600. And then I was like, yeah, but this when I said I want a raise, I was thinking about something a little bit more substantial. So I thought, how many different ways are there to get what you want? That was one of the sayings that I heard from one of my acting teachers, because if you ever studied acting, you know that studying acting isn't only about the acting technique, like the Meisner technique, or which is what I studied, or the method, or Stanislavski, or stuff like that. There's Stella Adler, there's Uta Hagen, there's a whole lot of different methods. But it's not just about the method. You have to learn other aspects of acting. You have to learn how to audition, because auditioning and acting are two different disciplines. You have to learn how to use your voice and how to project your voice, especially, but not only, but especially if you are a theater actor. You also have to learn body movement. You have to learn how to have control of your body and how your body moves and things that it does. You have to learn how to break down scenes and how to best interpret those scenes. We had Shakespeare class, so we had all these things. Well, the guy who was teaching us the body movement class, that was one of the things that we worked on, was different ways to use your body to communicate different things. And one of the questions he asked us, which I always remember, was how many different ways are there to get what you want? And by simply asking that question, that just gives you the idea that there are probably other different ways to get what you want other than what you've already tried, And so that was one of the things that I always thought about. And so I asked myself, if you want to raise, you want to get more money, you want to make more money, even though you're working for these guys, what else could you do? And so I thought, well, I could start my own business and make more money that way. But what if you want to make more money with these guys though? What could you do? And so I said, now I understand how to package my knowledge and experience. So why don't I saw a flaw in the way that they were dealing with their corporate clients. And so I created a training of my own, which is called Strategic Leadership Roadmap. I wrote a book about it. And this was my method. And I said, here, guys, if you want to sell to your corporate clients the stuff that you're selling, you need to do this first. This is the beginning. And they believed it, and which is true, which is I totally agree with. And so then I taught the guys, salespeople, how to sell this, and they sold this, and this was a much costlier product than the ones that they were selling before. And it's a great way to break into a new customer. And so I went from $600 all the way up to $1,800 a day, or euros a day. And that, that was one way that helped me to get the increase that I was looking for. I said, that's more like it, So back then that was cool. But then I said, well, I definitely want to, because the other thing that came to mind too, and you might find this if you take a similar approach, whenever you find somebody who's going to sell you to their customers and you're a freelance like I was, you can rest assured that if they're going to give you $1,800 a day for your whatever you do for them, they're going to sell you to the customer for a lot more than that. And that's one of the things that really made me think. I was like, damn, they're selling me for $3,000 a day. And so when you start to think about, and we're going to talk about this too down the road about pricing and how to, look people in the eye and tell them that this is what you're going to get. Or this is how much I cost, or this is the investment that you're going to have to make if you want to do coaching with me, and how to make them understand that there's value in that and it's worth that value. It really made me think. I was like, if they're selling me for that much, why can't I sell myself for that much? And there was some fear in there, and it was like, I don't really know but it was really an eye-opening thing that I thought about over the years, and which enabled me to make a lot more money. Anyway, we're going to talk about that in another video. Anyway, that's how I got started in the coaching business. And then after a couple of years, I worked with them all total for about 5 years, but our collaboration waned off because the first 2 years is when I worked a lot. And then I started working a lot less because I started getting my own customers. And I started getting them because I knew other people who were talking to me. And so then I adopted this method that I will tell you about. It's about the interview method that really was really great. And I just started working more and more for myself and less for them. And then there was a point where we just kind of cut off because after several years, they were still thinking that I was getting the $1,800 a day. That's all they wanted to pay me. And I'm like, dude, times have changed, Holmes. It's this, that. And they're like, yeah, but, that's what we were at last. Yeah, but that was like, how many years ago was that? I'm not there anymore. Come on now. And so since they didn't want to pay me that much money, we just kind of broke things off. But that's fine because I got what I wanted. I paid the money up front. I learned what I wanted to learn. I learned how to, that communication training, that sales training was great. The time management training was great. It allowed me to make money and to grow as a professional. And it was just a great way to break into the industry. So I wanted to make this video just to tell you that you might want to think about doing something similar, You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you try to do this alone, it's going to be tough. You might get lucky and just figure it out without, getting any other information. But if you're here listening to me and you listen to me through all this video, then there's a good chance that you're here because you want to learn something, because you realize that you don't have the knowledge that you need in order to be successful at this, at least to get off to a successful start. Because I'm going to tell you something else. By going through this journey with me, you're going to find out that you're going to be able to make a progress a lot faster than I did. I started the digital part of this back in 2017, and I am still learning. And I'm more than satisfied with the results that I'm getting. And I want to share those things with you in a very concrete way. I want to share with you numbers, what I'm doing. I'm going to show you pages, and I want to show you all this stuff. But the time that it's taken for me from back then up to here, I probably could have condensed that if I had done things a little bit differently. And that's what this is all about. That's what this channel is all about. I want to take you through so that you don't have to take as long as I did, and because it is possible. And if I would start all over again, I can tell you, and I'm going to talk to you about this in the video as well, in another video as well. I can tell you some of the things that I would do differently that would help me to get results. I am very, very sure a lot quicker. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Stay with me because I have 109, and I'm going to keep adding to this. If you have any questions, if you have any things that you want me to know, if you have any things that you want me to cover, if you have any doubts or insecurities, or if you're wondering about anything, write it in the comments. Let me know, and I will be glad to add this to the list of all these videos. Because if I had somebody to take me through all this stuff, and I had followed it religiously, I would be a lot farther along than I am right now. I can tell you that. And I'm happy where I'm at. I am very happy where I'm at. And so anyway, stay with me. Subscribe to the channel. If you think this information might be helpful to somebody, send it to them, share the video with them, and stay with me because I got a lot more stuff to say. So much. See you in the next video.